What's up? We got Arrow Season 5, Episode 12, Bratva. Okay, this episode starts off with, it starts off with a flashback, but with Oliver and Talia. But I'm not going to mention it because I don't mention the flashback. So, after the flashback, we see Oliver and team and they're just hanging out and they're talking about, and Oliver talking about mayoral stuff. But that's when they learn about John Walker, Deagle's former commanding officer, has broken out of. They arrest him, but now he's broken out of jail, and the weapon that he stole still hasn't been recovered. So it's time to go back to Russia, baby. And so Oliver's like, hey, with Thea gone, so Quentin's just standing there, and he's like, hey, with Thea, and he's like, hey, why are you being rehab? Well, he's like, you're back to work already. And he's like, well, rehab takes not that long, Oliver. Oh my god. Doesn't take that long, Oliver. So, yeah. So they're tracking Walker, and so they're like, hey, let's go back to Russia. So, I think they haven't been to Russia since Season 2, Episode 6. Keep your enemies closer. So they go down, but they stand. So the guy's like, when I joined the team, I didn't think I'd be going to Russia. And he's like, well, we've done some crazier. Diggle's like, well, Dinah, we've done some other craziest mission. So that's when he's like, Anatoly punches Oliver, saying, yeah, you shouldn't have come back to Russia. So he's like, he's like, what was up with that? And he's like, you should have stayed in America. Remember Alexei Leonov, the guy that you told around? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, we thought we had an understanding over, and then you told Alexei what? And then you pulled a gun on Alexei, and the next thing we knew, he was killed with an arrow in his eye. So proves that you are the Bratva brother. So he just leaves. So he's like, hey, what? And why that Bratva guy? Why did Anatoly Knyazov punch you? And he's like, yeah, 3 years ago he did work for the Bratva, but didn't work out right. But then Slade ended up killing Alexei. We all remember that. So back in Star City, America, we see Renee's like, yo, what's up, Hoss? And he's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, Oliver told me to help you prep for your interview with Susan Williams. And he's like, yeah, I don't need that, but you can just go back, put on your hockey mask. I thought Oliver, you're here the entire time. Like Oliver's gonna buy that, Quentin. Like Oliver's gonna buy that. So he's like, hey, I'm here to help you, Hoss. So he calls people Hoss. I don't know what's up with that, but that's just Renee's my obviously favorite character. So Renee's obviously my favorite character. So calling people. So he's like, hey, how'd you feel about your sobriety? How'd you feel about your sobriety? And he's like, when did your drinking start? Before or after the death of your daughter Laurel? And he's like, oh, what did you just say? How dare you bring my daughter up, bro? And he's like, hey, I'm just telling you what Susan Williams would ask. And he's like, yeah, I don't need you. Bye, Renee. So basically we get it. So they basically make up, and we basically basically learn that Renee and Quentin have a past because when Renee used to spray paint buildings, Quentin crashed down there and said, "Hey, you can be nothing more than a rip wrong thug." So my boy Renee and Quentin got some history. So back with Russia, they're like, "Hey, why don't you back in the Russia storyline?" They're like, "Hey, why don't you just?" He's like, "Why don't you just go ask your friend with the?" Diana's like, "Hey, why don't you go ask your friend with the great right hook and make peace with him?" So he's like, "Okay, I'll." And he's like, "Hello, Oliver and John Diggle. John Diggle, you're my new favorite American." So yeah, so he's like, "Hey, we can help, like, we can help you, bro." So he's like, what the deal ended with Gregor, whoever that is. I like his Kovar, so whoever Gregor is, it's obviously something that Oliver did for totally back in the past. So yeah, so like, "Hey, there's a bio going on, and I need your help with this. I need your help with this bio." So he's like, "I need your help with the buyout." So he's like, "Okay, I'll help you with this buyout." So I'll help you with the buyout. So he gets this. So later on, we get this with Diane and Oliver moment where Diane's basically like, "Oliver, you're basically letting Prometheus get you. You're letting Prometheus, you're letting Prometheus destroy you, saying you infect everyone around you, but John and Felicity, you affected them, not infected them." So yeah, so meanwhile, back with Felicity's like, "Hey guys, we need to talk to this guy. So can you guys pretend to be Bratva?" So basically they pretend to be Bratva, but it's later on that she seems scared of Felicity, so it's like Felicity crossed the line to get to know where Walker was. And he tried to tell Felicity, and he's like, "Felicity," and he's like, "Hey, Felicity crossed the line to find Walker." And he's like, "Rory," and he's like, "What line?" And he's like, "Never mind." They never tell us what line she actually crossed to find Walker. So Oliver captures the guy, and he's like, "Hey, John," playing nice with him, but John basically starts beating this guy up like a punching bag, and he's like, "John," and basically John goes back to his Batman impression, because every character talks like this now, when they're doing their angriest voice, they talk like Batman. So yeah, it's really weird. Every time someone does an angry voice, it sounds like they're doing their impression of Dark Knight Batman. I make jokes of it because it's kind of funny. It doesn't be against the actors or any of the characters who do this voice, but it's just funny that every time I watch the show, I'm like, wow, they sound like Batman. And it happens every time I review the show. It's nothing against the actors, it's nothing against the characters. It's just funny to watch them sound exactly like a Dark Knight, Christian Bale's Batman. Christian Bale's Batman. So, yeah. So he's like, "Hey guys," so he basically takes Diane, and he's like, "Hello, guy, we don't know Nima." He's like, "Tell us where the buyouts happen. Tell Anatoly where the buyouts where the sailing's happening." And you'll notice, and Oliver breaks two of his fingers. Oliver just, so, that just feels so weird hearing Oliver break this guy's fingers off. So they decide so they go to find Walker, but John doesn't beat him up. He's just like, "Hey," he's just like, they find Walker, and he's like, "Oh, there's another nuke," and he's like, John, the nuke's not, the bomb's not here. It must be, Walker must already have it. So they punch him, but yeah, so Rory has to sacrifice his rags to blow up the bomb because the bomb's now in decount on, so bye-bye Rory on the show. Not actually, Rory does survive, but his rags are kind of just now useless. He feels, so I guess bye-bye Rory off the team for the second time. Again, Rory's just leaving the team because instead of it being about Haven Rock, he's just like, oh, without these rags, I have nothing to add to the team. So Rory leaves. He says he'll be back, but yeah, don't know how long that'll take. So yeah. Don't know how long that will take. So yeah, I don't think we ever see Walker again after this. And yeah, so Renee basically does tell Quentin that he pushed Susan Williams to ease him up on the questions, and yeah. But anyway, that was Bratva, and I gotta say, it was okay. Wasn't the best episode so far. It was just like, man, they didn't kind of do anything. They kind of just had to stop a buyout from happening. That's kind of the episode. Last time they went to Russia with Isabel Roshev, it kind of had some interesting qualities to it because it kind of like, but this time it's just like, man, they're just trying to stop John's former commanding officer from starting a nuclear war. That's kind of it. I did like Renee and Quentin's bond. That's kind of it. That's kind of like I liked about the episode is Quentin and Renee's bond going farther because we learn more about Renee's past with Quentin. But yeah, that's just the episode. Anyway, that's it for this video. And I'll see you next time for more Arrow. Hopefully next episode is better than this one. Not saying this episode's bad, it's just not all that interesting. Bratva.